Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca Rice and I teach family photographers how to gain a life of financial freedom through a thriving photography business. I'm really excited today because we are going to be talking through how I use my Apple Watch in mini sessions. Let's dive in. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a like so that other photographers like you can find it, and subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when new videos go live. Now, I wanted to let you know about something free that I have just for you guys. This is a workflow for posing that I use in every single family session. And so basically, it's a download that you'll be able to grab completely free, and it walks through step by step what poses I do for every single family session. It helps me not freeze up. It helps me know what's coming next without having to think about it. And it's just been so helpful. So I know it'll be helpful for you too. You can grab it below and use it on your next session. Okay, so let's talk about using my Apple Watch. This is a video that it's kind of funny that I'm making because when I was thinking about getting an Apple Watch, I was searching videos like this of like, how do people actually use their Apple Watch? Because I'm not usually like a watch person. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna be helpful for me. And so I was trying to Google, how do photographers use their watch? And I could find 0 videos. Like, I was having such a hard time. Maybe there's been videos since then, but I can tell you when I was looking, I was having a hard time like justifying the purchase because I didn't know how people use them practically. And so if that's you and you don't have an Apple Watch, but you've been thinking about it, maybe this video will be helpful. But if you already have an Apple Watch, then maybe this will give you some ideas of how to use it more effectively when you're shooting mini sessions. So for me, in my Apple Watch, I created a custom watch face, which is really easy to do inside the watch app on your phone. You can decide what kind of like apps you want to see. And basically when you glance at your watch, it's really easy to see whatever it is you want on there. So I created a custom watch face knowing that there's certain pieces of information that I would like to know going into mini sessions. So anytime that it's time for minis, all I do is swipe over to my, watch face, and there it is, my mini sessions watch face. So my watch face, which you can see here, is, it has the time, obviously, that's an important piece. It also has calendar events, pretty big in the middle, and I'll talk through that in a second. I have the sunset time, so I shoot a lot of evening sessions, so I like to know when is sunset, how are we doing on time, that way we know that, we're tracking where we need to be. And then I have reminders, which is kind of a placeholder app. I don't actually use that in photo sessions, but I just have it on there. And then I have my messages so that if I need to, clients are trying to text me, I can really easily click over and see, what they're saying. I usually don't reply while I'm shooting, but I can see it. And I do let my clients know that if they text me while I'm shooting, I'm not going to reply. So usually it's like, hey, I'm on my way, I'm coming, or whatever. So my Apple Watch is actually my secret weapon for staying on time with my minis. People ask me all the time, like, how do you do it? How do you make sure that you don't go over time? It's because of my Apple Watch. And so throughout our session, I'm constantly glancing down at my watch to see what time it is, because I do value my clients' time. I want to make sure that we run on time, we don't run over. And so I am constantly glancing down at my watch. But another cool thing, and I mentioned that calendar app that's right in the middle of my Apple Watch, I actually load every single mini session time slot into my Google Calendar. And that way, on my watch, when I glance, I can see who the next family is just by glancing, that I don't have to pull out my phone. The family's name is there and all their information, which is wonderful. The CRM I use is called Dubsado, and Dubsado actually does that automatically for me, that when somebody books something, it adds it to my Google Calendar, so I don't have to do it manually anymore. I did do it manually when I first started, but I don't have to do it manually anymore because Dubsado does it for me. So that was super helpful helpful. And that way, when I'm like approaching my next client, I don't have to fumble and see who it is. I just glance at my watch and I can see who the next client is. Now, some other ways that you can use your Apple Watch that I found really creative. I was just talking to my sister. She's an associate photographer for us. And so she was going into a photo session and she was telling me about how she was using her Apple Watch. And she actually has the timer app as one of the little apps on her watch face. And so she sets it for 10 minutes because we do 10-minute mini sessions, and all she has to do is click the little thing and it takes it to timer and she can start the timer. And so for her, it helps to have a timer that rings when time is up so that it's easier for the clients to know, like, hey, the session's over. It's like less confrontational, I guess. She's very non-confrontational, where for me, I'm like, okay, your session's done, time's up. Thanks for, and I do my handoff or whatever. It's super easy. But for her, that made her uncomfortable. And so having the timer go off helped her be able to end the session on time and go on to the next one. So that was really cool that you could add that onto your watch. And another way that she used her watch that was super creative is, remember that posing workflow that I mentioned that you can download here in the description? She actually screenshotted that posing workflow, or like she made like a notes version of it, so it was smaller, and took a screenshot and she saved it as the background of a watch face. So with Apple Watch, you're able to like set several watch faces and scroll through them really easily. And so she set that as her background of one of her watch faces so that she could easily scroll over and see her posing workflow without having to look at her phone. So clients, thought she was just looking at the time, and she's looking to see what pose to do next. And so that I thought was super creative. I don't need my posing workflow anymore because it's like super ingrained in my brain. But if you are still not feeling super confident in your posing, that is such an easy way to use your watch in like a very non-conspicuous way and glance down, see what your next pose is, and go from there. So I'd love to hear from you. If you have ways that you use an Apple Watch that maybe I didn't mention, drop it in the comments and share, because I would love to see like how else we can utilize our Apple Watch. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I mentioned here, again, comment below and I would love to help answer them in any way that I can. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, whether you're like shopping for a watch and trying to decide if it would be helpful as a photographer, or if you already have an Apple Watch and are wanting to use it more effectively. Either way, I hope you found this video helpful, and we'll go ahead and close out for today, and I'll see you back next time for another video. Bye guys.